and Liam here from Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it is, of course, getting goosebumps as we're now hitting one of the most famous books of the entire series in episode format. It is, of course, Monster Blood, the 15th episode of season 2, the third book in the original Goosebumps series. So this is not the earliest. I think Stages and Die was the second book, maybe.
Wow, man, number 3.
Yeah.
It's like the OG Goosebumps.
Yeah, first published in 1992. This is directed by Timothy Bond and written by Rick Drew. Do you have much memories of Monster Blood, book-wise?
No, I don't know book-wise. Not great memories, but in terms of the episode itself, it's definitely a memorable one, and one that I was on quite frequently, if I recall.
Yes, it is. It is one of those where it's super safe, but also super weird that it kind of fits in this and is very accessible for youngsters.
I feel like this is an episode that, like, if you ask someone that watched Goosebumps, like, when they were younger, they would, like, possibly think of this one. Because it's a couple of episodes, obviously, like, with Night of the Living Dummy, things like that people would probably jump to. But this one, I think, is, like, one that a lot of people probably remember. But I'm not really, like, it is weird enough for that to be the reason why they would. But I'm not really sure why exactly that a lot of people probably would remember it.
Agreed in that front, because R.L. Stine had some regular characters he would go back to, or like story points in his books. Obviously, Slappy the Dummy with Night of the Living Dummy being 3, maybe more further down the line book series. Monster Blood, I know there's at least 4 books. Monster Blood 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah,
well, that's probably the reason. And then obviously, as we're going to come to, this is one of the few episodes that actually gets a sequel episode, which is quite rare. Yeah.
Yes, but very important here, it is not a double episode. And there's a reason for that will be explained when we cover more Monster Blood. We begin with a voiceover as a boy explains that his dad was being transferred at work and his parents have gone to find a new house. While they're doing that, he's staying with his aunt. Classic Goosebumps, voiceover, parents aren't around. You go, well, fuck off of here while we go look for a new house. Couldn't he come with you?
What are all these parents doing, man? That's what I need to know. I want to know what all these parents are up to. That should be an episode where it's like, oh my God, that'd have been the coolest episode that like combines all the episodes to show that they all are happening like at the same time. All these kids' parents, they like are going somewhere, and like that's like an episode by itself. Like, where are the parents?
Oh my God, yeah, like a clip show. Like every episode, this is what this one was doing. This is what this one was doing. Oh, that would be so funny. But also what they were doing was really fucking weird. Like really uniquely weird.
Exactly. Maybe all their parents are like aliens or something, and they all go to like some weird cult. They're all part of a cult. Oh my God, right.
Amazing. I like that. So this is Evan, played by Kyle Labine, and he is complaining to his parents about how weird his aunt is. They say, hey, she's not weird, she's eccentric. That is a synonym of weird, you fucking idiots.
Evan, it's only for a few days.
But Aunt Catherine's so weird. Oh, she's not weird.
Oh, she's eccentric.
She smells like mothballs. She's always making those really gross sugar cookies.
Hey, I thought you liked those.
They taste like kitty litter. Plus, Trigger has to stay outside the whole time.
Catherine can't help it if she's allergic to animals.
I think she's creepy.
Evan?
Well, I do. She's always sneaking around, like she's hiding something.
That's ridiculous. She's a perfectly nice, slightly eccentric woman, and she's very fond of you.
Well, I still think she's creepy.
What that kid don't know is all the adults in Goosebumps are eccentric, so, you know, you should have expected that, really.
It is a rare event when we get a normal, down-to-earth parent that just kind of gets on with things. Off the top of my head, the one that jumps to mind is Go Eat Worms, the mother in Go Eat Worms. She's fairly just straightforward, normal.
Yeah, that's true. But then I always enjoy these characters in these. I think they like raise the episodes like quality level, because the adult actors are obviously better actors than the kid actors are, so they have a lot of fun with it. And I think the aunt in this is quite a fun character.
Yes, the aunt is played by Coran Conley, and she is Aunt Catherine. And yes, you're absolutely right. Again, you think of eccentric characters, you think of piano lessons can be murder and things like that. And stay in the basement.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's so many, lots of them.
So the parents leave and Evan is left with Aunt Catherine, and she's allergic to dogs, so Evan's dog is not allowed in the house. You maybe think like this was a discussion beforehand. Hey sis, Can you look after our son for a week or two while we, go house shop buying and all that? Yeah, no worries. But he can't bring the dog because I'm allergic to it. So can you put the dog in a kennel?
Just the communication between these people.
Absolutely. Once inside, she tells him where to find his room, but also warns him not to go into a specific room that is opposite his room. And I laughed my head off because he literally disobeys her straight away and goes inside. And I was like, you're a dick, Evan. You didn't even wait. She almost finishes the sentence and he's like, all right, cool, I'm in there.
He's like, he knows how long the runtime is, man. He's got to get to it.
Inside, it's like the room has been abandoned. And when he goes to look in a chest, Catherine catches him, unsurprisingly, and admonishes him. She sends him out and quickly locks a cupboard that begins to shake as though something is inside. So here we go. Sinister, secretive, Goosebumps stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That night, Evan is struggling to sleep and he sees Catherine being weird at the forbidden room door. So he pretends to be asleep when she checks on him. Catherine, maybe lock that door completely, can't go in, and then don't stand outside at being weird.
An idea.
The next day, Trigger, which is the dog, is barking at a girl on a bike called Andy, played by Sarah Podominski. Evan introduces himself, and we now see that Trigger will eat anything as he tears apart Andy's comics. Andy's tears apart Andy's comments like he's a cutting critic or something.
That's one of those Goosebumps things where it will obviously throw back to the fact that the dog will eat anything.
Oh yeah, you know it's called Monster Blood. You know that stuff's coming into it. The dog will eat anything. You can picture exactly what the plan is.
Yes.
They share some stories about Catherine while Andy tells her about the secret room. Andy is being really nosy about it and does the whole chicken thing to make him show her the room. It's the Mighty McFly. Nobody calls me chicken. And he's like, all right, I'll show you the room. Inside, they find odd books and Andy opens up the cupboard. And inside there, they find jars of odd liquid, in the particular one with a label called Monster Blood on it. There is some green liquid in that. Why are you labeling it, Catherine? Is anything else there, Monster Blood?
Just in case she forgets what the hell it is, man.
Or he comes along and is like, what's this green liquid? Start drinking it.
Oh, check this out. Monster blood.
What was that? I don't know. What is this stuff?
I don't know what that is.
It's warm. Feels like rubber.
They open it up. There's a flash and a black cat appears in the room. And I admittedly, when only remembering light details of the book, I was like, wait, what? What the fuck was that? Didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
Well confused.
That's unexpected, though. Never would have seen that coming.
No. Evan then touches the stuff and thinks it's like silly putty. Probably because it is silly putty in regards to the production of the episode.
Yeah, he let that one out, man. That's what they used. You're not supposed to tell us.
Mm-hmm. He bounces it and it moves like flubber.
Oh my god! I literally wrote, when did Flubber come out?
Yeah, right. I forgot to check.
Yeah.
This was 1999.
Yeah.
Oh god, this was after Flubber, wasn't it? Yeah, Flubber was a 90s movie.
Look, obviously, it was based on a book, so that was done first. But I'm saying now that Monster Blood, the book, inspired Flubber. That's the explanation.
There it is. We made it official.
That great classic movie that everyone loves, Flubber. You know?
Of course. They decide to share the silly putty, the Monster Blood. But there's a lot more there than was there now when they first looked, so implying that it grows quickly. But they're stopped from what they're doing by hearing Catherine return, so Andy goes to stall her, doing that classic kid thing of, hey, oh, get in your way, oh no, all that. Later, they're playing around with the Monster Blood and decide to see how high it will bounce. we see a fly land on it and then seemingly get eaten up by it. And then Trigger eats a ball of the monster blood they had actually bounced. So lots of little things here, lots of quick implications. I like the fly landing on it and being kind of devoured, because I'm a big fan of The Blob, both the original and the extremely unique remake.
Whoa! It went into orbit. Trigger, no! He ate it! I can't believe it!
Definitely, yeah. Really, I'm a big fan of that as well. And I guess you could probably more likely say that, yeah, this may have inspired Flubber, but I think The Blob probably did inspire this for sure.
Oh, for sure. It's yeah. The original was surely have inspired R.L. Stein's writing.
Yeah, 100%.
The book, I was going to call it the flubber, the monster blood that the dog ate has an effect on him. He seems to kind of get uncomfortable and sick, but then turns out to be okay. The kids are confronted by Catherine, but deny going into the room. She then offers them some sugar cookies and Evan eats them. This goes back to a thing at the start where Evan was complaining about her horrible cookies, sugar cookies. And here we get it. I don't really know what a sugar cookie is. It sounds like a cookie with a lot of sugar on it.
Aren't all cookies sugar? I mean, they're all sugary treats. I don't really get it.
When he holds it up, it looks like it's really dusty, like it's covered with something. So I just think it's a plain cookie, flour and all that, and then just with sugar covered over it, which to be fair is going to be fucking rank.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
That night, Evan goes to bed, but under the bed, we see the monster blood is beginning to expand. So,
yeah, I put down that, like, I know that they didn't want to get in trouble, these kids, but they probably should have gone to her when it started to grow and stuff like that. I mean, that was just obvious. They should have just owned up to it. They'd fucked up.
Oh no, but they're gonna get in trouble. Can't get in trouble.
Well, they'll regret it later.
Oh yes. The next morning, Andy arrives to show Evan that her monster blood has grown. She now has a cooler filled with it. I like that imagery. It's like, oh, I've now had to transfer it to a cooler, and boom, here it is.
Where's your monster blood? I hid it under my bed. I put mine in my closet. And when I woke up, I found this. Whoa!
Yeah, they you know, it may be putty, but they definitely made a lot of putty for this episode. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We should know it's predominantly not CGI. This is silly putty.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a practical effect. So, like, you know, they went to the effort. They do use a little bit of CGI in places, but yeah.
They do. Oh yes. We see Catherine dancing around her living room in one of the more eccentric moments of any Goosebumps episode. I laughed my head off at her dancing in the living room, particularly the song she's dancing to, because it's not like an 80s Madonna jam or something like that. It's fucking classical.
Yeah.
The kids sneak past and go to Evan's room. The blood is oozing out of his door, and he opens it to see it has grown to quite a big size. So trouble. They're not gonna be able to get out of this one.
Oh, man. Quick, there's a bucket under the bathroom sink. Oh, no. What are we going to do? Start scooping it up.
They start to scoop it up into buckets while that cat that you've forgotten about in the episode is watching from a distance. And yeah, I'd forgotten that cat even existed.
Yep.
We then get a long montage of them cleaning it up while Catherine dances around. That was a scene, sort of they're cleaning, she's dancing. It goes on a little bit too long to be entertaining.
Little montage.
But it all stops when she sneezes, forcing the record to stop, and she hears Evan. She wonders if he is the dog inside, but he doesn't, and she's out of medication. She'll head out to get some more because she's starting to sneeze. But that's going to, so it turns, I figured that, oh no, she's allergic to animals, not like just dogs specifically. It's the cat.
Also, you skipped past the funny line of where she refers to Evan's friend as Evan's friend, and she asks him if he's related to Chicago Evan's friend. She says that in the episode. I thought that was quite like an amusing, like silly joke for like a kid's show.
Yeah, that went over my head.
Yeah. How
Very
dare you
good.
skip past that?
The kids use the opportunity of Catherine being at the house to pour the stuff into the bath in the shed outside. Andy goes to get hers, but sees now again it's already multiplying, already pouring out of her cooler. This makes Evan worry about Trigger because obviously he ate some. So if he hasn't already shat it out, it means that it might be growing inside his stomach. But Trigger has gone. But they do notice dun, 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 a giant dog footprint in the backyard. And I was like, oh, damn it. The episode's going to get really silly.
Yeah, you know it's going silly when you see that.
Yep.
Look at those footprints.
They're huge. You don't think...
Yeah, I do.
It's like we've got a 10-foot Trigger running around the neighborhood. Should we go look for him?
No.
One problem at a time, though. They're trying to contain the monster blood while the cat watches on. Evans ends up sitting on the edge of the bath, but the monster blood reaches out and tries to pull him in. Andy uses a rake to pull him out, and they escape as the blood begins to expand out of the bathroom. So yeah, ramping up. We're coming to the end of the episode. Things need to happen fast.
Yep.
In the house, the blood keeps on coming as they try to plug up all of the gaps. I do enjoy this part where I'm like, goodness me, they really went for the gooey stuff. They really pushed with it.
Yep, for sure.
Catherine arrives home and sees the monster blood. She then sees the cat and calls it Sarah Beth. It then transforms into a woman played by Joy Tanner, who turns out to be an evil sorceress in control of monster blood. And I was just like, oh man, why are we going so stupid with this? Why could it not just be an expanding soulless monster?
Yeah, I mean, you had that. You don't need to bring all this other rubbish into it. That's all. No.
Yeah, it reminded me of the episode with the magicians.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because then one of the bunny rabbits is like his ex, like
Partner.
rival or partner,
Yeah.
whatever.
Monster blood. Did I not tell you to stay out of that room? You've unleashed her.
Unleashed who?
Sarah Beth.
Who's Sarah Beth? That cat?
That child is no cat. Silence.
Catherine reveals that 30 years before, she took Sarah Beth on as a porter who practiced black magic. Catherine tried to stop her, but she was too powerful. But Sarah Beth stepped on the monster blood, though, and got consumed by it. Catherine then sealed the monster blood and locked it away. This was just infuriating. So this raises two questions. If monster blood constantly grows, how does it ever shrink back into a position where you can put it into a jar with a small amount of it? Also, if this jar is that fucking powerful and important, why is it sitting in a room that is never locked in a cupboard that is never locked? For fuck's sake.
Overthinking it. But yeah, I put the exact same thing. I said, why does the masonry jar have the ability to hold the monster blood in place? What is it about this? You know, if it can do that and it's just an inanimate jar, unless it's magical in some way, then surely anything could hold it, you know? Yeah.
It's a missing line again. It's simply as saying this, as Catherine explaining all of this, she adds this simple line, which is, I then cast a spell on the jar to make it contain the monster blood.
Simple as that. Yep.
Sarah Beth sicks the monster blood on the kids, but we haven't had silliness enough yet. We need more. A giant Trigger arrives and scares Sarah Beth into the blood, where she is consumed again. And for fuck, I get it. I know I shouldn't be complaining. It's Goosebumps, it's low budget. But the imagery of this green screen dog then is superimposed to look massive is one of these awful effects that I just wish I didn't see.
I don't know. I have to go back and watch it because I wrote these notes quite a while ago now. But I actually said that I thought it didn't look too bad. So.
Okay. There are worse effects. There are worse effects, but it's the problem to me. It looks so fake that I just
it does look like a massive dog. I mean, yeah, of course it's fake, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I have to go back and watch that one. Maybe I was taken in by all the like eccentricity of the episode at that point and just was rolling with it, man.
Yeah. I think you have to though. I think you kind of have to roll with it. I think I was doing fine up until the point where Sarah Beth appeared, and then I kind of just got taken out of the episode completely and was like, right, now I'm taking it seriously. I'm not having fun anymore.
Yeah.
Yes, get her!
Shoot, shoot. Get yourself a bow or something. Go on, shoot, shoot.
For some reason, with Sarah Beth consumed by the monster blood, it disappears. It shrinks back, disappears, and Trigger shrinks back. And I have no idea why.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get an answer. So
No, we're
no
not.
wonder. But also, maybe raise the question again of like, why did Catherine even like keep the cat like at all, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Like, why? I mean, I'm not like, obviously killing animals and stuff. That's like, that's wrong and whatnot. But it was obviously going to come back and bite her at some point. So, and also, wasn't it more cruel? Maybe it was greater cruelty in making her like live decades of her life as a cat. Maybe that's what she was thinking. But like, surely someone that evil or whatever, just sort of, it's similar to the magician episode. Like, there's probably easier ways to make sure this doesn't come back to you at some point, and it did for both episodes. So big mistake, man.
Just bury this fucking jar. Bury
Yeah,
it
exactly.
6 feet down. You could dig a big ass hole and just bury it. No animal's digging that up. It's gone.
Or just put it in a little cupboard with the very simple door in the way with the lock with a singular key.
There it is. The episode ends with Evan on a plane to meet up with his parents now that they've found a house, and he's telling the story to some kid. The kid asks about the monster blood, and Evan says, "Hey, we buried it." And I'm like, okay, well, at least you did that. But we then see in the cargo hold, Trigger is unhappy as monster blood begins to ooze out of Evan's case. Like I said at the start, this isn't a double episode, and I will explain why at the start of the next episode. So we're just going to focus on what this story is told. And truth be told, I expected better from this. When this episode started and I saw the title and I saw what it was, I went, this is one of the more famous Stein books. We're going to do this justice. We're going to have quite big. Surely this is where maybe they've saved some money for. Ultimately, I ended up thoroughly disappointed with what I thought was overtly silly. And it is, don't get me wrong, Monster Blood and the whole story itself is very silly. If you think about it, it's just a blob inspired. But what it comes to, how it ends, how it plays out, I was just a bit like, The highlights of it involve eccentric character more than anything else.
Yeah, you kind of have to find like your own like things to find enjoyable about it, because the episode itself doesn't deliver it, even though it's like you said, it starts off well. The whole thing of them hiding the blood and it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can imagine where it could go, and then it just takes a really silly like turn. And then it makes you remember that you're watching like a show that was geared more towards kids and stuff like that. And it's like, it's a frustrating angle it goes for. So on the whole, it ends up being a very like, sort of silly juvenile episode where it could have been better if taken like slightly more dark approach and not included like massive dogs and, people transforming into cats from cats and and then the monster blood just disappearing without an explanation at the end. They could have done more with it. And I think like, considering it's such an early book, number 3, you'd think they would have like, maybe that's what happens in the book. I don't even know. It goes into great detail. I'm not sure, but like maybe they could have done more with it. Also, I don't know if this is true, if this is true or not, but it seems like it's a tie-in. Maybe this is why a lot of people remember this episode. Obviously, with the Goosebumps credits and stuff, the big part of that is the oozing green blood that trickles down. That I imagine that must be the monster blood, or what it's supposed to be. So maybe that's also why a lot of people think of it when they think of Goosebumps, because they think of that whole green ooze,
Possibly. I get you thinking. I mean, we use it as part of our cover photo for it as well. So very, very possibly that it's just an almost connection relation to it more than anything else. But ultimately, I find this episode too kid orientated.
Yeah, I think especially when you like know it's clearly inspired by something that isn't kid orientated. So you just automatically think of it, like tie it to that in your brain, and you know what you've seen in those movies and how like grotesque it can go. And then this is just like such a tame like affair. Yeah.
There it is. There's Monster Blood. You know what to do. You got any thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon to help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?